that look like? If you guys have been paying attention and staying focused, what's the graph when you see just the y being squared? A circle's when they're both squared. Okay? Scott?
Sideways.
Yeah, sideways parabolas. Opens left and right when the y is squared. Okay? So if it opens left or right, does it pass the vertical line test? No. So that's not a function. Okay? Again, I like to graph it so I can see what the domain and range is. All right? So get y by itself. And since I divided the whole thing by 5, I should put it in parentheses when I write it in my calculator. All right, so I have 7 minus x divided by 5. Now, is y by itself yet? No. What do I got to do? Square root it, right? When I square root something, I solve for a variable, and I square root something, I need to put that plus or minus symbol in front of my answer. Now, when I hit the square root button, what do you see? After the square root symbol, parenthesis, right? So that's going to be there already. Plus, you need to put this one in also. So you need a second one. And then close it off. Okay? Now, if you want to write 7/5 minus 1/5 x, you can, but it's a little bit quicker that way when you just divide the whole thing by 5. You see what I'm doing? Just trying to make it easier to type in. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. When I type it in my calculator, remember I got this plus or minus. So I got to do the positive one and the negative one. So a second set of parentheses. And then the negative one, remember, use the negative sign here at the bottom. Don't use the minus sign, that'll mess you up. Okay? And then punch it in the same way. And then when I graph it, hit graph, it'll do the positive part, the top part, and then the negative part, bottom part. All right, so it's a parabola that opens up to the left. What I'm really interested in is this point right here. That's going to help me tell the what. What else do I have to tell to get full credit? The domain and range. This is going to help me with the domain, right? So I need to know what that point is. Okay? How do I find that point? Go to the table. What's the x value? The y value. Yeah, the y value is 0. So what's my x value according to that? Can you guys see it? Yeah, 7. That's 7, 0. So my domain is x is less than or equal to 7. Right, Sean?
Yep.
What's my range? Well, that's why I want you to stay awake so you have to clear them up.
I was like visualizing it in the dark. What you ask? Was it what? Let's do a range.
Range. What's my possible y value?
Well,
Look at the picture, the graph.
okay.
What's happening as this continues?
See,
Mm-hmm. For how long?
forever.
Forever. So what's my range?
Yeah.
Yeah, all real numbers, right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
So there's 3 and 4. 4 is a tougher one because the y was squared. We don't get that very often. Okay? Because we have to get y by itself to graph it. If your graphing calculator is not working, you just make an xy table, you get the same answers. All right? Pick your x values. All right? All right, number 5. The piecewise function. Wow. What is going on? Scotty, what are you doing?
I think I broke.
There we go. So, p of x, our function p, has 2 pieces, x squared minus 4, negative x plus 5. This is the piece when x is less than or equal to 1. This is the piece when x is greater than 1. I'm asking for these 2 answers. So what's x for this one? What's x for this one? Negative 3. Does negative 3 fit in this domain or this domain? The top domain. So I substitute negative 3 into that x. What's 9 minus 4? That's all you gotta do. What's the x for this one? What's the x? 4. Does 4 fit in the bottom or the top? The bottom. It's bigger than 1, right? So I'm going to put the 4 in this x. What's negative 4 plus 5? 1. I'm not even making you graph it like you had to do on the homework the other day. You're welcome. Okay? I am making you graph number 6. Okay? How do I put that in my calculator? How do I find the negative sign? Down here, right? How do I find the absolute value sign? Math. Move over to number. Enter. That's for absolute value. Put x minus 3. Now you use the minus sign. Close it up. And then the plus 2. So here's my graph. Okay? So you should sketch that. Upside down V. Why is it upside down? That negative out front. Just like a parabola, if there was a negative in front of my x squared, it would be upside down, right? Okay. The reason I want to go to the table I like to make it symmetrical, my table. So I have some points, all right? So here's 0, negative 1, right? And then there's 1, 0, and 2, 1, and 3, 2, and 4, 1, and 5, 0, right? There's some of the points. Which point am I most interested in? The 3, 2, the very top, the vertex. Right, Evelyn? Okay, the question is, give the interval that this graph is increasing. So which side is it increasing? Left or right? Left is increasing. What if I asked you tomorrow which the decreasing variable, which side would you like it? Over here, right? So it might be decreasing or increasing tomorrow. All right? So understand that. Now, when I ask for the interval, am I asking you for domain values or range values? Domain. I'm asking for domain values. Okay? Which is which values? The x. This way is the x-axis, right? So I'm interested in this number. From here, this way is the increasing part of that graph. Right, mate? So what's that interval?
Three.
Yeah, 3. That's on this side, right? What's on this side?
Negative infinity.
Yeah. When you do the infinities, it's a parenthesis. It's not a bracket. Yeah. Well, let's put it in the right end. Negative infinity is at this end, so let's put it first. Do we understand that one? So make sure you graph it and give me the interval. So there's 2 things I'm looking for there. All right.
How much of us?
30. Maybe 35. I don't know. If I make one of them 10. Yeah, you asked that earlier.
Wowie! Literally fell.
I hope so,
I
Tiana.
probably will, like I'm not even.
You see what you did in my
Exactly what we know.
Yeah, so I did it, but
Yeah, that's supposed to, and that's why we think.
yeah, that's what, yeah.